So, okay, last time we discussed how to use the Passe Compose, especially with avoir and with the ER verbs. So check that out if you haven't done it yet. Make sure that you suss that out first. So what I would like to go into a bit more today is how we use the different verb forms, the past participles for the different infinitive endings, so the IR, the RE, and a little bit of the ER. As a reminder, last time we had a look at how the past tense is constructed. The Passe Compose is constructed from three parts in French, or two, depending how you count. So we need the person up here, j'ai. In this case, we need the right form of avoir here. You need to know them by heart, and we need the past participle, which will be the focus of what we're doing today. And we also discussed how we would form them, that we actually take the infinitive, jouer with an ER at the end, take the ER off and put the E with the accent back on. So some of the past participles we covered last time are over here. So jouer, for example, as I said, you cut off the ER, that takes you back to the stem, and then you put the E with the accent on, and you get the past participle. It's derived relatively simply, so you can actually make them up as you go along. Manger becomes manger. Note how they sound the same, but they're spelled differently, and this is an important distinction. You lose lots of marks if you get this wrong. Regarder becomes j'ai regardé, écouter becomes j'ai écouté. We also touched in our lessons on a couple of the special cases. So, for example, lire, to read, becomes j'ai lu. Voir, j'ai vu. Boire, j'ai bu. Faire, j'ai fait. So there are no accents here. You cannot rely on these accented E's all the time. So make sure that you understand this, and make sure if you want to use these, you look them up or you learn them by heart, because these are irregular ones. You cannot just derive them by a rule. So how does this work with different endings if it's not an ER verb? That is the question I want to now go on to. Another group of verbs we have seen are IR verbs. So finir, for example, to finish something. Here we just take the R off. Or alternatively, you could say take the IR off and put the I back on. So finir becomes j'ai fini. The third group of verbs we've got are the RE verbs. So the things that end in R and E when they are in the infinitive. So they are here. Regularly, this is full of some irregulars, but regularly we actually use this rule. We take the RE off and put a U back on. Of course, the U is pronounced as an U in French, so attendre becomes j'ai attendu. Right, so sounds relatively straightforward. Here's a little bit of an overview. What do we do here? We take, for the ER verbs, we take this off. IR verbs, we take this off. RE verbs, we take this off. What do we stick back on? Can you remember? Well, you should be able to. Let's have a look. For the ER ones, we put the EM with the accent on. For the IR ones, just covered it, we put the I back on. For the RE ones, we put a U back on. So, can we work out what these are down here? Let's see. With these rules, basically, parler, what do you think parler is going to be? What do you think écouter is going to be? Manger, choisir, finir, attendre, perdre, vendre. What are these going to be in the past participle form? Give it a go. You may want to pause here until you've tried that out. And I'm going to tell you the answers just after. Okay, so here are the answers. Hopefully you've got them all right. As you can see, these are all regular. Luckily, at least in the past participle, these verbs are regular. So parler, to talk, écouter, to listen to, manger, to eat, to have eaten in this case, so talked, spoken, listened, eaten, chosen, finished, waited, lost, sold. That's how you have to think about that. I have sold, j'ai vendu. So another exercise you could do, see whether you can actually make these sentences. Can you complete them? Again, it's a chance for you to just pause and give it a go. Right. Didn't have the answers for that one ready, so I'm just going to talk you through it. J'ai vu les Simpsons, VU. Nick et Imran, two of them, two boys, so we need to have on. On fait du vélo. Amy and Roxana, 2 girls, doesn't matter, they're still plural, so it's ONT the form, ont regardé la télévision. Nous avons, well, in this case, we've got the form of avoir already here, but we needed to come up with the past participle. Manger, we just covered that, becomes manger with an I accent aigu at the end. Tu, here we need the auxiliary verb, and we need the form of avoir, because the past participle is there. A, so it's tu as acheté un CD, this is AS. So, AS because it's the second form. Gianni, one boy, a joué au football, just the letter A, that's all it is. And the last one is actually question, as you can tell by the question mark back here. Vous is you plural, so it's avez, and we need vu as a past participle. Now because it's a question, often in French you can just put the verb to the front and becomes avez-vous vu le film? Have you seen the film? Actually it's really nice to pronounce, avez-vous vu, one of my favorites. So you've seen how to form the different participles. In the previous lesson we have discovered, or we have covered, how you always need to make sure you use the right form of avoir to match the person you're talking about. So now you know the forms of avoir, you know the way of doing the regular past participles down here. So that should now give you all the elements that you need for the standard use of the past participle. Okay, good luck with that.